Hello, this is Clemmy Games and welcome to a new series on the top 5 most promising early access indie games for the month. While early access has generally been hit and miss, there are notable examples of games that have done early access right, taking into account community feedback and coming out the other end a better product. Games like Darkest Dungeon, Slime Rancher, The Long Dark, Don't Starve and Subnautica come to mind, amongst many others that are currently in the program, such as Slay the Spire, Factorial, and Dead Cells. So I thought that I would highlight some of the more promising ones to keep an eye on. Pretty good slate for February, so let's start with the Honourable Mentions. Desolate is a first-person survival horror game where players take the roles of volunteers, basically people who have never held a weapon in their hands and are told to research the paranormal activity on this island. The monster designs look particularly cool to me, and this looks to compete with something like Crytek's Hunt Showdown. Slasher's Keep is a cel-shaded, procedurally generated first-person dungeon crawler with a focus on melee combat and loot. The art style certainly stands out, and the reviews so far have been pretty positive. Moving on, here are the top 5 most promising early access indie games for February 2018. Number 5, Rise of Industry.
The start of a thriving empire is only ever one deal away.
The game formerly known as Project Automata has hit Steam Early Access last month. This is a city-building tycoon game that places you in the shoes of an early 20th century industrialist. Set up factories, establish supply lines, process raw materials into finished products, and trade them across cities. The developers plan to add even more products on top of the 100 plus in-game currently, as well as more factories, gatherers, events, larger maps, pollution as a factor to consider, and much more. Number 4, Iron Maiden. The name of the game is fantastic in itself, but the most interesting part is that it uses the build engine by 3D Realms, used to power games like Duke Nukem 3D and the original Shadow Warrior. I find it fascinating that games like this and the recently showcased Dusk exist in this day and age, which are not just nostalgia plays. Expect old school FPS action here with tons of weapons, enemies, and handcrafted levels. There is currently an early access preview campaign which will slowly be added to in early access. Number 3, Dam's Fightin Herds. A 2D fighting game that first started off as a My Little Pony fan project, Dam's Fightin Herds features excellent animations and some tweaks to the fighting game formula. It uses the Z engine, which Skullgirls runs on, and has GGPO for its online connectivity. It has a magic system, juggling decay, and enhanced super attacks, which could potentially be interesting. The game also features a pixel art online lobby, as well as a PvE dungeon, which is unique for a fighting game. The launch of 1.0 will coincide with the release of the first installment of Story Mode, but as a fighting game, do expect the usual balancing patches as well. Number 2, Descenders. This is an extreme downhill free-riding game with procedurally generated levels, and simply looks to be a thrilling experience. The use of motion blur gives the game a good sense of speed, and the screenshots that I have seen of this game are nothing short of beautiful. Pick a team for exclusive gear, spin up the trick machine, and get the high score. The developers plan to add more content such as bikes, kits, tricks, and more, as well as to build upon the social and community elements. Number 1, Deep Rock Galactic. The 4-player co-op style game, in the vein of Left 4 Dead, has seen numerous iterations with games like Payday and Warhammer End Times Vermintide, but Deep Rock Galactic takes the setting to space. Play as a dwarf, choose from multiple classes, go forth and mine to gather valuable resources, but watch out for alien spiders. There is a progression system built in with character upgrades, keeping the loot compelling, and the developers plan to add more game modes, more varied caves, more tools, classes, and equipment with an estimated time frame of 1 to 2 years, meaning that this still has a ways to go. Regardless, this looks to be tons of fun, so do definitely keep an eye on this. So these are my top 5 most promising early access indie games for February 2018. As always, thank you for watching, please subscribe to keep up with the best indie games, and I will see you in the next video.